up, everybody? It's your boy Tech B Swift. Today doing an unboxing and a quick comparison video of the iPhone SE. This dropped last Thursday on the 31st. I actually just received it in the mail today, so I wanted to do unboxing with you guys. I did take off the plastic as far as on the box. And I did throw my SIM card in it because with iPhones, you have to have a SIM card to get past the activation screen. But other than that, it's fresh out the box. I haven't did anything else to it. I haven't set it up. I haven't did anything. So let's jump into it. While I'm opening this box, please don't forget to subscribe and check out my giveaway channel and videos. I'm going to do another giveaway tonight. So that video will be followed by this unboxing and comparison. So let's jump into it. So opening it like you do any other iPhone box. On the back it tells you the size of the phone you have. It tells you your model number, your serial number, all that good stuff. On the top, it's a blank white screen, blank white, blank, and just standard white on the left-hand side too. So there's nothing special. On the top, you get the typical iPhone logo with a nice picture on it. Apple branding on the top, Apple branding on the bottom, Apple branding, iPhone SE on the side, and another iPhone SE on the left-hand side. So let's move that out the way. Oh, in case you see my Canon shot, Arnold Palmer. I told y'all, man, to send me some of these. I love these. Alright, let's get back to it. So inside the box, as you see, I have, this is the, I think this is the gold 64 gig version iPhone SE. Plastic still on it, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll set it to the side. Open it up. And inside you have your standard SIM card removal tool that they give you. And inside of this, I'm sure you're going to have the same package contents as you do everything else with Apple. Nice little painted. They give you 2 Apple stickers so you can stick them on whatever you want, so you can show that you're rocking with Apple. Close this up, get this out the way, because I won't be using any of that ever. Whatever. Inside the box, you get a pair of headphones. My wife absolutely loves these headphones. I know she's going to steal these. I never use them because I don't like the way they feel in my ears. I got some Bluebirds and stuff like that, and Jaybirds that I use. But these are very, very nice headphones. They're quality, they make calls. They're nice to have. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably own several iPhones, so it's the standard iPhone headphones that come into it. You get your standard charger, and you get your lightning cable adapter. So this is the charger phone. So nothing new here. We've all seen this. This is the standard packaging from Apple. They keep it clean. They keep it classy. They don't change. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So let's move this to the side. Get this out the way. And let's look at the phone. So the phone itself looks just like the iPhone 5S. So if you was a fan of the 5S, you're going to love this phone. It's the exact same size as the 5S. They even use the exact same screen that the 5S had built in. And I mean the exact same screen. Which is not a negative. You know, the iPhone 5S was a solid phone. And the 5 was a solid phone. I love both of them. Didn't have any issues with them at all. Apple builds some great quality products. Left hand side, you got your mute button. You got your up and down rockers. Top, you got your power button. On the right hand side, you do have your SIM card. This is an unbranded or uncarrier iPhone SE, so it works on all carriers. That's how all of them should be right out the box anyway. It should just be stick a SIM card in it, but that's a different story. On the bottom, you have your headphone jack, you have your 2 speakers, and then you have your lightning adapter or lightning port. And then on the back, you have your iPhone SE branding right there. Like I said, this is the gold color. This color is actually kind of sexy. I've never actually owned a gold phone. I always buy black just because I like the contrast when you're watching videos on that black background, but it's kind of nice. I kind of like this. The camera doesn't protrude at all. If you can see it, it's mounted flush. And I will go over the specs and everything with the camera, and then you get the flash. So that's it. On the front, you do have the fingerprint scanner just like you did on the 5S, 6, and 6S. So that's nothing new, but let's take this plastic off. Listen for it. It's clean. Take the back off too. It's clean. There you go. So like I said, once again, it's nothing new here. I mean, if you use the iPhone 5 and 5S, I mean even the 4 and 4S, you know what it feels like. I mean, it's the same chamber fired, rounded corners, more squares than the new iPhone 6 and 6S. But if you're a person who wants a phone that fits in your hand and that you can reach everything, not like the new phones that's out there that's a little bit bigger, you're not going to have a problem. You're already accustomed to holding this phone. Solid, it's durable, it's lightweight. Turn it on. Boom, here we go. But before we get into that, let's jump into some specs. I do want to run down the difference between the iPhone iPhone SE, iPhone 6, iPhone 4, and then just for comparison, I don't have a 6S, but I brought my Nexus 6P. Bang dang. I brought that down so you guys can check them out all side by side as far as size comparison. I try to line it up as much as possible so that you can see exactly the difference between the phones. All of them are turned on besides this one. I can't turn it on because I can't find that cord. If you remember, they used that old square 30-pin cord. Don't know where that's at. Haven't used that in many years. With the rest of them, they all working. I'm turning them on so you can show. But just to drop a little specs, because I know we have some people out there that love specs. I am reading this off of paper because I couldn't remember all this off the top of my head. But I took what I believe would be the most important things that you guys would want to hear about. One is the size. So I'm going to slide this to the side. The size. The SE is 123 by 5'8". Excuse me, it's 123 by 5'8", and it's 7.6 millimeters thick. So for those who are not aware of the specs, the 123 is the length of it, and then you got the width of it, which is the 58.6, and then the 77.6 millimeters is the thickness of the phone. Okay, so I'm not going to do that for all of them, but I'm just explaining to you what it is when I read them off. So the 6 is 138.1 by 67, and that's 6.9 millimeters thin. Alright, so as you see, this is a thinner phone. I didn't do all the specs for the 4 because the 4 is kind of pointless at this point, but I did grab the specs for the 6S, which is basically the exact same for the 6 when it comes to the size. The size is 138 by 67, and it's 7.1 millimeters thick. So it's a little bit thicker than the iPhone 6. See, I know it's a little dirty right there, but the 6S is essentially the exact same size. In the hand, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. The weight between the models, this one is 113 grams for the iPhone SE. Man, they should have just named these phones something different. Like, I hate this. It's so close. The iPhone 6 is 129 grams, and then the iPhone 6S, which is the exact same size phone as this, it's just a newer one that came out this year, or last year I should say, it's 143 grams. Let's put this to the side so you guys don't get confused. The Touch IDs on these, this is the first generation Touch ID, which is the fingerprint scanner around it. The 6S has the second generation, which is faster unlocking your phone. People say it works a lot better. I haven't been able to tell the difference. I did have a 6S for a while. I couldn't tell the difference between the two. And as far as the SE version, this one actually has the first generation Touch ID. So even though it just came out last week, they were cutting corners trying to save costs because this phone is only $500, and they sat there and they put the cheaper of the two in there. I'm gonna knock you for that, Apple. That was not cool. You shouldn't have did that. You should have hooked me up with second gen. As far as the screen size, this is a 4-inch screen and this is a 4.7. So when you put them up side by side, you can see the difference of what you were getting. As far as the 3D touch, neither one of these models have 3D touch. So for you guys out there that's not aware of what 3D touch is, on a lot of the phones, or the new phone I should say, it allows you to, if you press and hold like the power button or the phone option, it will pull up a secondary menu. The 3D touch has a sensor built into the panel itself, so it's pressurized sensor, so it knows if you want to do a second action instead of just actually hitting the phone app. You want to do a second tier action or something like that, or a second command. These phones do not have it, so even though that technology is out, they cut corners again and did not put it in the iPhone SE. As far as camera, this is the iPhone 6 is rocking an 8 megapixel camera at 1.5 pics with an f-stop of 2.2. It has 1080p recording, and then the front-facing camera is a 1.2 meg camera with an f-stop of 2.2. So it's a great camera, takes great quality photos. The 6S actually has a 12 megapixel camera with the 1.2 pixels and an f-stop of 2.2. The 6S has the ability to do 4K video recording, which is very, very nice. And then it has the 5 megapixel camera on the front of the 6S. The iPhone SE has the same exact rear camera, which is the 12 megapixel camera, 1.2 pixels, and with an f-stop of 2.2. So luckily for us, we're fortunate enough in this model to get the exact same camera that's in the 6S on the rear. On the front-facing camera, they changed it up. So the front-facing camera of the iPhone 6S has the 5 megapixel camera. This only has a 1.2 megapixel camera with an f-stop of 2.4. So that's just numbers and schematics, right? Don't mean anything. What it means is that front-facing camera is gonna suck. I'm sorry. People are gonna bash me and say, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal." Blah blah blah. If you FaceTiming your girl, right? What you want to see her on? You want to see her on a 5 megapixel camera that's clear, vivid, she looking all good, or you want to see some busted chick on the other end because your camera's a 1.2. She all grainy. She ain't that hot. She look like she got some blemishes. I'm not knocking y'all ladies out there. I love you all. I'm just saying that this 1.2 is a huge disappointment for a front-facing camera. I understand the phone is cheaper, but that camera is so cheap these days. They could have put an old camera from this one in, and it would have been much better. So they kind of sucked it up on that one. It's not cool. I mean, this still only has a 1.2 megapixel camera, but at least it's an f-stop of 2.2. So I'm not happy about that. Processors. This has the A8 in it, which is like the 2-year-old model chip. This has the A9, which is the same chip that's in the iPhone 6S today. So thumbs up to you, Apple, on that. Thanks for not cutting corners. As well as it has 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is the same as the 6S. This only has 1 gigabyte of RAM. And battery life is, this one has 1810, and this one right here has 1642. Now, when you hear the battery life and how much smaller it is in this versus this, you think, oh, this battery life is going to be terrible. Keep in mind the new iPhone 6S battery size is 1715. Okay, so it's a smaller battery than what's in here, but the processors are more efficient, so you want to get a better optimization off the phone. It's going to sip that battery life compared to the older phones. They were a lot more thirsty, just like some girls I know in the world out there. You're acting thirsty. And then all of them, they do Apple Pay. So it's not a big deal as far as Apple Pay, but there is some differences in the phone. Now, when you're looking at the size of these phones, I start off with the old school 4S versus the new 5. Oh my gosh, I keep saying 5. The new iPhone SE. If you look at the thickness alone, I mean, that's a huge difference. In the hand, I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal, but there definitely is a thickness difference there. From the size and height, you can see that this screen right here, I think this was a 3.7 inch screen if I remember correctly. It was a small phone, but we loved it. It was the hotness, especially when it first dropped. Then they came out with the 5 and 5S, and everybody was like, what? That's the perfect size phone, 4-inch screen. They got it right. Then they turned around and they dropped the 4.7 and the 5.5, right? So going to this is a no-go. I would not recommend a 3.7 inch phone. Now, as far as the 4-inch screen, for me, it's a tough adjustment. I'm gonna play with it for several days and see how it goes. But it's gonna be a tough adjustment. I normally run with every day the Nexus, but as you can see, this is a much bigger phone. I mean, there's no question between the two phones as far as size. This is not for everyone. This is not for most people, I will admit that. But this is an amazing phone. If you want Android at its finest, this is an amazing phone. So then what other option do you have? We have the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6S. From size difference, I'm going to line up the screens more than anything. You can see the difference when it comes to the phone sizes. You're talking about 4.7 inch screen versus a 4-inch screen. To some, that might not be a big deal. To those who love watching videos, that's a pretty big deal to me. The thinness, once again, my phone is dirty. You can see that the iPhone 6 is thinner than the SE. It's because the SE has more of the boxy style, and it's not as premium of a device, but it's still an awesome device. From the height difference, I mean, if you put them side by side or one on top of each other, you can see there's a big difference. So for you guys out there who love the small phones, you're just seeing these comparisons because the iPhone SE, the iPhone S, the iPhone 5, and the iPhone 5S has been around for a long time. Man, this has to be one of the hardest reviews I've ever done just because I keep saying iPhone and it's iPhone this, iPhone that. So I'm sorry. I know rookie mistakes, but it happens. So that's what it looks like as far as the difference in the sizes. As far as the fluidity of this phone, I mean, if you rock with Apple, if you use iPhones in the past, there's nothing much to show here. Like, I don't want to spend a lot of time going through all the settings. If you have questions, I always answer my comments. Anyone who checks out my page, I always respond to you if you write something. So it's the same thing. Like, there's no difference. It's just smooth. Apple makes a very smooth product with very minimalistic hardware specs because they own the OS and they own the hardware. All your standard settings are there. Touch ID, anything you typically would use for an iPhone, it's all there. Okay. As far as the camera looks great. I've never used this one, but I'm sure it's gonna be perfect just because of the fact that it's the same camera that's on the SE. Take a picture. Boom. Take a picture for you guys. There you go. The level of detail is amazing, just like Apple always does. Apple is one of the top cameras out there, next to the Nexus 6P and the S7 Edge. Like, those three phones take great pictures. I don't care which one you have, you're gonna get a quality picture out of all of them. But as far as like every other details, like I said, there's not much really to talk to. I mean, you got the fingerprint scanner right here. I'm not gonna go ahead and set up the Touch ID. My biggest gripe about this phone, I think Apple failed, is they didn't add 3D Touch. 3D Touch would be a nice feature, just because it's the new. Like, you can't show me something in the 6S model, you come up with something later, and then you say I can't have it. Like, that ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, it's your boy Tech B Swift. Like I said, once again, this is just a quick comparison of my thoughts. It's a nice phone to stand for those who really want to go back to the old school styles and have a phone that you can use that still serves all your purposes, but it's not super bulky. This might be the phone for you. So, like I said, once again, you can follow me on my channel. Please subscribe right up there. I don't know where I'm pointing to the ceiling, but I might put something up there. You can follow me on Tech B Swift at Twitter, Instagram at Tech B Swift, Facebook at Tech B Swift, Clash of Clans at Tech B Swift, and my Xbox One at Tech B Swift. So we keep it swift, we keep it moving, and we out. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let me set these up before I walk out of here. I just like the way it look on my desk. Sexy, sexy. As far as this camera setup too, guys, I got my new camera setup getting ready to be completed soon, so you won't see the back of my head anymore. Peace.